right.
Well, I'm gonna get it to my followers too, because I've got a few thousand that need this. Because they've been inching at it, and I have some knowledge and some wisdom, but I always love to play the role of I'm one of the masters, but you have to talk to all the masters to get your true understanding, because I'm still learning.
We are all masters.
Yeah.
Mars, stars, because we're all actually stars.
Right.
I was just saying before to Kelly, when we come down here, we're labelled youngsters already. Youngster. He
Young
becomes
star.
a master, not a monster, or a mobster, or a fraudster. He wants to, nor an imposter. He wants to be a true star, a superstar, a movie star, a rock star.
My goal is to be a healing star.
Exactly. But
I see that this earth has so much pain, and I've learned a lot of the healing arts like reflexology, Reiki, and using medicines both Western and Eastern. But truly, I think that right now our society has gone into we're kind of like dealing with post-traumatic stress, at least definitely in the Americas. Some other cultures, it's a little nicer.
The whole world is traumatized right now. The whole world has been traumatized for a very long time. It's been woven into the fabric of everything, and slowly but surely disembodied and disempowered.
Right.
Everybody, and the deepest traumatization, in my opinion, is the vilification of human nature.
Yep.
Yeah, dehumanizing humanity.
Vilifying it, like especially in a lot of religious traditions, calling us sinners by birth.
Right.
Telling us our thoughts and our souls and everything about us is evil, so that way I don't even trust living in this body.
That's right.
Right.
And that right there is insanity, to not trust the home that I'm in.
Right.
And now to be able to come to a place of embodiment and trust this home and trust the messages that this vessel receives and what I'm putting out into the world.
One thing I learned, and this may be absolutely wrong, but it's a teaching that I embrace, is that sin is only that which disconnects us from God. I've also heard it.
Define sin though, because I don't even believe in sin anymore.
Well, and truly, I've heard it said, and I believe it was a teaching from Yeshua or Jesus himself, where he said, all sins are to be forgiven except the sin that is blaspheming the Holy Spirit. Meaning when the Holy Spirit gives you divine inspiration or guidance or wisdom, to embrace that is to embrace the Creator and to embrace the universe. But to blaspheme it would be to say, like the universe basically told me to drive here to Puerto Morelos today because I wanted to see the monkeys. I was hoping that I would get a chance to see the good teacher. But again, if I were to reject that, that would be kind of like an unforgivable sin because it would disconnect me from that Godhead, that Trinity type energy that is here, present. You get what I'm saying? But I mean,
are you open to another view?
Of course, always. I'm an omniist, so I believe that there's one source of all light and all power, but there are many different messengers. I believe you both to be high prophets, and I'll definitely embrace. What message do you have, or what would your teaching be?
So, what I sense from that view is still a little bit of the shame paradigm of right and wrong. And I see that from the very first story in the Bible as well, where it's like when Adam and Eve sin, all of a sudden, oh, well, you're going to do this, and you're going to suffer this, and you're going to suffer that. Now me, as a human, maybe God incarnate as well, I'm going to call myself God incarnate.
Yes.
Goddess incarnate. And someone who studies trauma therapy and understands how the brain responds to trauma and stimuli, how the body responds as well. The last thing I would do to any new human, if this Bible story is a true story and they're brand new humans, the last thing I would do to any brand new human who is figuring out how to human is shame them for not listening perfectly. That is not how children learn. The rule of love, the law of love, which is what our universe is established on, is rooted in understanding. Why did you make that decision? Why don't you believe that I love you? How can I bring you back into this belief of love instead of separation? When we start to label things right and wrong, this is where the separation comes from. Instead of, like even in Buddhist theology, it talks about there is no forgiveness, there is understanding. Getting to that deepest root of where did this come from and how can I love that area.
Wow. That's powerful. But and it's, you know, just to piggyback one point, because I mean the philosophy that I embrace is kind of big because I'm an omniist, so I look at all different religions, but it's similar.
Syncretist as well.
Exactly. Yeah, I would definitely say I'm a syncretist for sure. I'm an initiate in the syncretist. That separation, as you spoke of, that's what I believe in. You know, when you separate yourself from another individual, that's where you know have that sin. If I were to harbor resentment against maybe Santos, if maybe he said something that, you know, made me mad, and I was just like, I'm not going to deal with him anymore. That, you know, again, is separating me from God. So I'm not giving him that true love. I'm not sharing that understanding of, okay, I understand his nature. You know, he may be a little different. He may have different views on things. But I think we're kind of on the same page. I embrace.
It's the flavor that's different for me, though, is this label of sin or still putting a right and wrong on it, because you are judging the motive. You're judging the heart motive. And really that is really hard, really challenging, and I would even say impossible to accurately judge. Me, for example, like anyone could have looked at my life at any given point and said, oh, she's on drugs, oh, she's sleeping around, what a little whore, what a little drug addict. What they wouldn't be aware of, though, is what drove those behaviors. Why did I drink? Why did I feel the need to sleep around? And that's what I'm getting to, is no longer shaming the manifestation of feeling not loved, but how can I meet that feeling of not feeling loved? How can I reassure that you are loved just where you are, because that's what the universe does. It loves us and embraces us just where we are, and then move from there.
Wow.
And this is how parents are too. This is how we work on securely attaching children. It's not shaming them for, you know, sticking their finger in the socket. It's like, oh, hey, honey, yeah, that hurts, right? Ooh, that's dangerous. And you know what? As a parent, I'm going to put something in there so you don't do that again. Yeah. It's treating life with understanding and compassion.
I love that. That's an awesome philosophy. Sure. That's truly. I feel as though my consciousness just ascended to a higher level based on just embracing that sort of teaching, because it makes perfect sense to not vilify your own human nature or to vilify the nature of those around you, but to embrace, just as nature does, the faults of us all.
Or the misunderstandings.
Right.
Even just saying it's a fault. It's
Yeah.
like, if I'm raised in an environment where I have not learned love, can you wrong me for not showing up in love?
Powerful.